My name is Gearoid. So basically I'm making this little video series about my travels in America and the different cities I went to and what I got up to in those places. Just for fun really, because what else am I going to do? And today I've decided to make a little video about my time traveling through Las Vegas and my first time in LA. So before I explain about my first time in America, I should probably talk about my first time abroad. Up until I was about 19, I hadn't actually been on an airplane. Basically, I'm from a big family here in Belfast, Northern Ireland, or Ireland, whatever you say. Travelling abroad would be quite difficult for us, especially when we were really young. So usually we would go away to a different place here in Ireland for the summer. But yeah, by this point, I suppose we were a bit more equipped to travel somewhere else. Basically, we were just sick of Ireland. All this green. There's only so much you can see of that. Our first time abroad was a trip to Salou in 2013. And going to Spain was really surreal. You know, the heat was something I was not expecting. Well, I was expecting it because, you know, Spain is hot, but I'd never experienced that kind of level of heat before. So for the next few summers after that, we all went on family holidays together again to the likes of Ibiza and Mallorca. So by the start of 2017, I'd been on a few trips to Spain with my family, and I also did a flying visit to London as part of a uni project I was doing at the time. And basically that was all the travelling I had done. But then one day, a friend of mine, Martin, who's very well travelled, he mentioned to me about this deal he'd seen for a package holiday to Las Vegas. And it sounded really intriguing because the flights were directly from Belfast to Vegas, and like there's never any flights from Belfast to America. It just sounded like a surreal opportunity. Before this, I never really thought about when I would go to America or whatever. I just knew that I always wanted to go. So yeah, we went to Starbucks, discussed it a bit more, and then booked it there and then. And we were buzzing, we couldn't wait. Especially me, because this is my first time in America, and I really didn't know what to expect. Even going to get my dollars, I was like so giddy. So yes, the date arrives, March 21st, 2017, and I get on the plane, and I just remember being so excited because this was actually like a long haul flight. My first long haul flight, because the only flights I'd ever been on before this were like a few hours, but this was like 9 hours or something like that. Like getting to watching movies on a plane, getting food on a plane, you know, this was all just new to me. So then we land, I get off the plane, feel the heat, the glorious heat, you know, takes me back to Spain, but it's probably not as hot as Spain, but you know, it is still hot to me because I'm from Ireland and it's fucking freezing here. So yeah, we get in the airport, and then we have to go through border security. I was kind of worried about this because I never had to do anything like this before. And my friend was telling me, oh, they're gonna grill you and ask you about what you're here for, like what do you do for a job, all this kind of nonsense, just to try and know who you are and if you should be let into the country. And I'm like, shit, if I mess this up, I flew here for nothing, you know. The holiday's dead. So yeah, I go in line, and then the border security woman calls me over, and she doesn't really ask me anything. She just looks at my ESTA and she's like, is this your first time in America? I'm like, yep. She's like, oh, well, enjoy. Stamped, and away I go. And I'm like, is that it? I was feeling so nervous for nothing. But I didn't care. I got in the country, you know. Once we pass security, all that's left to do is go straight to the hotel, and we are buzzing. Getting into the taxi to go to the hotel, I was I couldn't contain my excitement. I was just so amazed to actually see America up close. Even though I'm in the car just flying past all these buildings, it's just amazing to actually be there because it's been a long time coming, you know. you grew up watching America on movies and TV shows, and then to actually be there, you're like, whoa, I can't believe it's actually happening. And then we get to the hotel, and I'm just amazed by the sheer size of it. I've seen hotels before, I'd stayed in hotels before, but this was like next level because there was shops and casinos and restaurants and Starbucks and like there was just so much in this big massive hotel. So then we get to the room and finally get to lie down. We were just exhausted at this point. The room was really nice, bigger than I was expecting. So after we rest, we're ready to go and head straight towards the strip, which is basically just a long road of hotels, bars, shops, cafes, restaurants, just all these touristy places, nightlife and all that jazz. It's basically where all the lights are, you know. You watch TV shows and films, you see Las Vegas, you see all these lights. So then we walk around different hotels and try and see what's inside, and like pretty much every hotel has like a casino, like a couple of bars and restaurants and a couple of shops. Like they're all just massive, food courts, Starbucks, everything. Like these hotels are just crazy big. Outside these buildings, when you walk along the strip, you just notice all these like crazy people about, dressed up as all sorts. There's people dressed up as Pikachu, there's people dressed up as Michael Jackson, there's people dressed up as Marilyn Monroe, there's people dressed up as superheroes, there's people dressed up as everything. It's just like, I don't know how to describe it. There's just so much to see, plenty to be entertained by. But another thing that really grabbed my attention was the water fountains outside the Bellagio. It's just like crazy how beautiful it is, especially at night. Just watching these water fountains like dance around and the music playing, and it's just if I could, my dream would be to have my wedding there, you know, in the water on like a little platform, kind of like what Drake did for his Billboard performance a few years ago. Just a few people on this platform, me, my future husband, RuPaul doing the ceremony.
Mama Ru is an ordained minister. I now pronounce you married.
Perhaps Nicki Minaj and Drake doing Moment for Life, kind of like recreating the video, you know, where they're both getting married and then the fireworks go off. But in this case, it's not just fireworks going off, we have like the fountains going off, and it's just a whole spectacle, you know. Fingers crossed one day that does happen, because, you know, it will go down in history as like the best wedding ever. There's also plenty to do during the day in Vegas too, not just at night. Me and my friend, we went to the Stratosphere Hotel, where they have like at the very, very top amusement kind of rides, and there's also like views of the whole city. Basically you go in a lift and then it takes you up high, but because you're going so high, your ears kind of like pop, kind of like when you're on an airplane. So we get to the top of the hotel, and yeah, my friend decides to go on one of the rides. It spins you around like in a carousel kind of thing, which hangs above like nothing, just pure empty air. Like if you fell out of it, you're pretty much a goner, because there's not like a building underneath or anything else to like stop your fall. So yeah, I'm sure it was an amazing view, but yeah, there was like no way I was going to do that. Not a chance, mate. Another thing we did during the day was go to a shooting range called the Fabulous Battlefield Las Vegas. I remember when we were going there, one of the workers drove up to the hotel in like a buggy kind of thing, where like a car with no doors, you know, and drove us down to the shooting range, where we got to see all like these army vehicles and tanks. Then we go through to the gun range part and actually do the shooting, and the guns we were using were bigger than I was expecting. I remember having to like lean on one like sideways and put my like cheek on it, and when I like fired it, I thought my teeth was gonna fall out of my mouth because I was like leaning against it like that. Yeah, just hearing it go off like pew. you felt your whole jaw like it was about to shatter, and I was like, oh god, what have I done? So yeah, that was an interesting experience. Would I say I'm glad I did it? I guess. I mean, like, I know what it feels like to shoot a gun, but would I do it again? Probably not, because it wouldn't be my kind of thing. But going there and seeing people there with their kids, I was kind of freaked out by, because it's not the kind of place that I would deem child friendly, but this is America. So another place we went to in Las Vegas was this incredible, like probably the best hotel I'll ever see in my life, called the Venetian. Basically, it's like this massive, big ass hotel that kind of looks like it's somewhere in Italy, Vienna, you know, just very grand and, you know, elegant. And the buildings are just very reminiscent of, like, you know, ancient Rome and Greece and all these different, you know, cultures. I really don't know how to describe it. My knowledge of this kind of stuff isn't very good, but you know, it's amazing, just beautiful. But when you actually go inside the hotel, I don't know if I can call it just a hotel because it's just so massive. But when you go inside the complex, just blown away by like the ceilings, because they're painted like just blue cloudy skies. Like, you would just think you're outside. Not only are these inside skies incredible, but these inside rivers and boats on these rivers. Like, it's ridiculous, the sheer scale of this hotel complex. I can't get over it. The Venetian is just incredible. There's nothing more I can say about it. Just incredible. Check it out if you ever go. Please. Please. Another thing I did when I was in Vegas was go to see the waxworks at Madame Tussauds, because the likelihood of me getting to meet an actual celebrity like up close in person is very slim. So going to see a waxwork of them, which is very much a replica of how they look, is something that would definitely appeal to me, because I'm big into celebrity culture and Hollywood and all these famous people, and the detail in some of these waxworks was crazy, because like a complete spin image of the actual celebrity. It was just so much fun imagining to myself that I could get this close to, you know, Nicki Minaj, Madonna, Whitney Houston, you know, all my girls. The Westgate Hotel, which we were staying at in Vegas, also had a swimming pool, and one day me and my friend were like, let's just go down here and like chill by the pool. The weather was warm, but not like boiling warm like Spain usually is from the times I've been there. But then my friend stupidly forgot to put on sun cream, and he ended up getting very badly sunburnt. And later that night we were supposed to go out on a club crawl that we had booked in for, but unfortunately, because he just felt so much pain, like from his legs being so badly sunburnt, that he decided not to go. I was kind of like in two minds, like, do I just leave it and stay in a hotel and hang out with him, or do I, you know, go on this club crawl with all these strangers and just wing it and see what happens? And yeah, that's what I did. I decided to go on the club crawl because I was like, you know what? I know I'm by myself, but I'm 23, I'm not like a kid. This could be a really great opportunity to get to see more of Vegas and experience what American nightlife is really like. So yeah, I went to the club crawl and started off with everyone playing like beer pong, and the people who were also on the club crawl, some of them were workers in Vegas but just wanted to get out and meet new people, and some of them were like tourists also wanting to get out and meet new people and just see what's happening, like myself. These nightclubs were like out there compared to nightclubs we have back here in Belfast. It was just a lot of fun, and I really did enjoy myself and meeting these new people. It was crap not having a friend with me, but you know, you only live once and all that. Even though this holiday package we went on was meant to be 7 nights in Vegas, me and my friend decided to spend 2 nights in California. So 5 nights in Vegas and then 2 nights in California. So to get to California, we didn't take a bus or anything like that. Instead, my friend wanted to rent a Mustang because it was a big dream of his to actually drive one of these cars. And then we drove up to the Vegas sign, took a picture there, because, you know, you have to take a picture there. It's like so famous. Why would you not? So we head straight on the road to California, and we take a stop to this little 50s diner, which is really cool because I didn't expect anything like that to be out there, especially during these days. And also in this diner they have like a little gift shop section where you can see all these fancy ornaments and stuff. And yeah, I ended up buying a thermometer with Elvis on it because I'm never going to see one of these again. So yeah, I got that for my ma. And then in the parking lot of this diner, my friend lets me have a go on the steering wheel, and at this point I still haven't got my license, but you know, there's no one here, it's an empty car park, might as well give it a wee whirl. So yeah, I got to drive the Mustang too for about 5 seconds. So yeah, we leave the diner and we go straight back on the road, and we head down Route 66 trying to find the Route 66 sign, but of course we didn't find it because you're speeding down this highway. It's just desert, like there's so many signs, you know, it's hard to spot one particular one. And then we finally arrive in Hollywood, and I am absolutely ecstatic because this is what I've been dreaming of. Like, there's nowhere in the world I've wanted to go to more than Hollywood. When we get there, we walk along the Walk of Fame and seeing all these stars. I'm just like blown away because I'm actually here. I'm actually, you know, at the star where the Beatles were, where Elvis was, where Marilyn Monroe was, where Michael Jackson, where Britney Spears, where Destiny's Child, Beyonce. So yeah, after seeing all these stars, I'm like, oh, I need to find the Fleetwood Mac star because I'm a die-hard Fleetwood Mac fan, and I remember seeing that they had a star on the Walk of Fame, but I didn't expect the Walk of Fame to be so like long. Like it goes on for miles and miles and miles, and I'm like where is this? I need to find the Fleetwood Mac star. Even walking down the Walk of Fame past all these like, you know, famous buildings like the Chinese Theatre, and in my head I'm like, oh, this is amazing, but still I need to find the Walk of Fame star of Fleetwood Mac. And then my friend's like, oh, like this is taking too long and we are running out of time. And I'm like, no, but I need to find it. I need to find it. And I didn't find it, you know. I was gutted, but I couldn't stay there all day trying to find this star. Even when I was trying to search on Google, like I couldn't locate where the hell this star was because the Walk of Fame is so long. And it takes up a lot more time to get exploring the whole Walk of Fame than you would actually anticipate. And yeah, we had to leave it. Also, we had to head on because we needed to check into our motel. But before we did that, there was one thing we had to do while we were here in the depths of Hollywood. And that was to go and see the bloody Hollywood sign. So, to get to the Hollywood sign, we had to go up to the Griffith Observatory, I think that's what it's called. I don't know how to describe it. It's just like this tourist spot, like way up towards the Hollywood Hills in the mountains, where you can go up and see this like beautiful panoramic scenic shot of the whole of LA. It's just amazing views. The sun was beaming. You're exhausted, you're tired, you're hungry, but you know, you're only here for a limited time, so you have to see it, you know. But still, we needed to get to the Hollywood sign. So we drive up further through the Hollywood Hills. Driving up there is not great, and if you have a very expensive car, turning around these corners is just, you know, there's bound to be accidents all the time because it's just so difficult to drive up there. I keep telling my friend, just drive on. He's like, we're gonna have to stop. So we drive on up the hills until we get to the point where there's no more like road to drive on. All there is houses. So yeah, we get the Mustang parked in the street, and then we walk up the hills a bit more. And after a few minutes of just standing about, we do see people taking pictures. And as we make our way past these people taking photos, we start to see that, oh, the reason they're standing here taking photos is because you can clearly see the Hollywood sign. So then we're like, perfect, let's take our pictures and get the hell out of here. And yeah, we get a few snaps, and then I take a few videos too, because when am I going to be there again, you know? You can't really get up to the sign and touch it, but the closer you get to the sign, the harder it is to get the whole sign into it. So where we were was pretty much perfect for getting the money shot. So yeah, I get the photo, and even when I'm recording video of me being there like an ecstatic lunatic, I'm like on the verge of tears because I'm in Hollywood, I'm at the sign. This is a lifetime achievement. If I had told myself that, like, you know, 6 weeks ago, before my friend even mentioned about this holiday to me, I'd be like, nah, there's no chance. But here I was, and you know, I was loving it. So yeah, I'm buzzing, and then we're walking back down towards the car, and then we get into the Mustang, and then in the front window we see a parking ticket, and then I'm like, what the hell, how has this happened? We were barely away 5 minutes. Like, I couldn't believe we got a parking ticket, because this is a residential area. Like, there's no parking wardens walking around that I could see. It was 5 minutes, no more than that. But sure enough, there was a parking ticket for $70, and I'm like, what the actual hell? I couldn't believe it. So after leaving the Hollywood sign, we decided to drive through Beverly Hills and also Rodeo Drive to, you know, see all the other landmarks and places you see in the movies, and it's just so surreal. So yeah, we head to Santa Monica, check into our motel, and then we rest for a little bit. So yeah, at night time we get to see Santa Monica Boulevard, go and see all the stalls and the amusements and food, and yeah, it's just pretty cool. Even though it was kind of cold because it was March and it wasn't summer weather, it was still pretty nice being there. I did get a cup of tea, which I was so glad to have, because I really don't like the cold. Yeah. So then yeah, the next day we head down Pacific Coast and go exploring a bit more through different beaches like Malibu, just driving visits because we're trying to head back in time to get to Las Vegas for one last night. So we head back to Vegas, and then we decided to spend our last night in downtown Vegas because we'd spent so much of the previous nights on like the Strip and then in LA. And yeah, it was pretty nice down there. A lot of bars, restaurants, things to see. They had zip lining and concerts, and there was like this show where this guy was doing like weddings live on stage for some reason. And there was like this weird like restaurant where like little people were dressed up as nurses, and I didn't know what was going on there. They still had the street performers down there, and they still had casinos, and still just all the kind of things you would expect on the Strip, but also here in downtown Las Vegas. So one of the last things we did during our time in Vegas was we went to the mall outlets just to see if there was anything we wanted to buy. I know they're just shops, but still, it's pretty nice to get exploring the American shops to see how they compare to shops back home. And we really wanted to go to these outlets because there was also a cheesecake factory in one of them, and I'm a big Bang Theory fan, and of course I had to try it out. You go in and it doesn't look anything like what the Big Bang Theory like makes it look like. The staff weren't wearing the yellow waistcoats and the, you know, white shirts like Penny and Bernadette were wearing in the show. Like, what the hell is this? Have I been lied to all these years? But I got over that pretty quickly because I got to try the food, and the food was excellent. Like, the cheesecake I went for was the 30th anniversary cheesecake, which is like triple chocolate, and it was just glorious, you know. I'm just so glad I got to go there. That was one of the things I definitely wanted to do when I was in America, was Hollywood sign, the Cheesecake Factory, and the Venetian. If I had to choose highlights, those would probably be the highlights of my trip. If there's one word I could use to describe this trip, it would be life-changing, because it really did have an impact on me. Just getting to experience it for the first time really made me hungry to go back and experience it again and again and again. especially because I wanted to find that Fleetwood Mac star on the Walk of Fame, and I did, but that's for another video. So yeah, that was my first time in America, and if you're interested in hearing about my other trips to America, then be sure to subscribe and check out my other videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.